All right. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome you all to this webinar on the fabric optimization, where we are going to present that how you can optimize your fabric and how you can ensure that you are definitely using the right amount of material and also making sure that you buy right and cut right at the same time. So my name is Neeraj, and I'm one of the solution consulting manager based out of India over here. And I've been part of this entire journey for more than almost more than 12 years now. And I definitely work with customers to help them understand and gain better controls over their cost parameters and help them to optimize the fabric utilization as well. So with that, I officially start the webinar. I also have my colleagues with me, Ms. Silky and Mr. Yuganshu. So I would like both of you to introduce yourself to our attendees.
Sure. Thank you, Neeraj. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm Silky from Ports Digital, product owner of FastReactFabric Biomodule. With over 9 years in apparel tech industry, I've supported manufacturers improve their operations and solve complex business problems. And today I'm excited to show you how aligning your cutting and buying processes together can help you boost profitability and sustainability in your factories. So let's dive in. Thank you.
Over to you, Ganshu.
Thank you, Neeraj. Hello and welcome everyone to this webinar. I'm Yuganshu Soni, taking care of FRF Cut module. So I have an experience of around 8 years in apparel tech, and I'm uh, helping out the users to gain their fabric management and do a better fabric utilization through our FRF software. Thanks, Neeraj.
Thank you, Ganshu. So moving forward, okay, so why fabric? Now, fabric is very important for us. We all know a fabric is almost to 50 to 60% of our manufacturing cost. And that itself says that, if we're not utilizing the fabric well, definitely we are, lacking somewhere. And this lacking somewhere will directly result into our profits because 60% of your cost is just a fabric. And generally, what we have seen in the industry is on an average, 2 to 3% of fabric goes into the wastage. And now this 2 to 3% is a direct money at the end because you're not just buying anything, you're just buying fabric in terms of the dollars. So 1 meter, if it's a $2 per meter, that is a $2. If you have thrown 2 meters of fabric somewhere and you've not consumed that, that means you have wasted $2 of your material. So that has a direct impact to your profitability. If I'm utilizing my fabric very well, definitely I'm ensuring my profitability is right. And I have all the control parameters placed and controlled, and I'm utilizing my fabric very well. So with that, I move into the further slides. And, so fabric management is definitely a challenge. It's not easy because if you, for example, if you are a medium scale or a large scale factory, which you're cutting at least a 20 to 25,000 pieces of garment a day. So it won't be just one role that you are handling. You would be handling, hundreds of roles. And now these hundreds of roles come with varied, challenges. And also you have to look at the various parameters evolving around the fabric that I need to buy the fabric. Now this booking of the fabric happens in a lot of different silos and different, information flows are definitely in different challenges which comes into flow. So I need to use that. I need to basically look at all the material and all the parameters, then define a booking consumption. And as the time passes, this booking consumption also changes. And then when it comes to the cutting floor, I'm seeing a lot of variability. I see varied length of the rolls. I see a huge amount of shrinkages. The way, the widths are different, the shades are different, and I have to meet the delivery deadline. There are PO complexity. There are a lot of things which, goes through in this entire supply chain, which makes it very, difficult to handle. So definitely the challenges are bigger. Now, if I categorize these challenges, these are 5 key pillars of those challenges. One is lack of visibility. I do not know the trends which are going on the fabric utilization question. I do not know whether my fabric wastages, how much they are on each category, how much is the shortage excess I'm receiving from the supplier, how much is the shrinkages variation I'm getting. I do know, but again, they're on the in the Excels or silos somewhere that I'm trying to reconcile and do it. Then what happens in correct material purchases happen, at the end when you cut the order, you realize, either I'm shipped, I'm under the cutting, I've undercut the order quantity, or I have leftover inventory. Now both situations are problematic for us. So we'll see that how it is, a problem for us. Now, if you look at the third point is the manual cut order planning. So the entire value chain of these process are manual. We do not have tools which can help us in cutting room. Yes, there are CADs are there, which are done a very good job in making sure our efficiencies are there. But again, apart from the CAD, there are a lot of processes which are impacting, and these processes are all in manual because there's a lot of amount of data that is consumed. So we do manual cut order planning at the end, and which makes things hidden from our eyes that we do not come to know. And even if we come to know, that the time is so much have passed that we are not able to take any action. The fourth point is a loss cutting data, that we have a huge amount of data, but all in papers or somewhere in the Excels, which is difficult to compile at the end. The compilation is also a very challenge. So I do not get the timely reporting, that if I want to ask for any order reports, I will not get in time. So again, that's a challenge for me because I do not have the cutting data in handy with me so that I can take the decision. Now the last point is the low utilization. So everything impact to the low utilization, and there is a waste generation happen in the cutting room. That is the end bit. So end bit is a small piece of fabric which comes after the roll. One roll is late, there is a 1 meter or 2 meter fabric which is gone. So for example, if you have a 100-meter roll and for 2-meter end bit is coming, that's a 2% of your fabric. So generally, we have seen the end bit generation in the factories are somewhere between 2 to 4%. And how you utilize these 2 to 4%, makes the entire game over here. So that's where the biggest challenge is. How do I ensure that I have consumed all my end bits? And these end bits which are generating in my shop floor are very well executed, and I do not have any end bit at the end of the order, because sometimes situation happens. I have cut the order, but again, I have end bits left over in my inventories, which I will just sell as a scrap. No, scrap selling will not generate anything for me. I want to cut a piece from it and make sure that I get the piece shipped to my customer so that I can get an FOB value rather than a scrap value. All right, so moving ahead. So this is the impact. So I said, I will go into a little bit more detail in the incorrect material purchases. So what happens, there are always a two case. One, if I have purchased the material is much more higher in terms of what I require on the shop floor. So I needed 9,500 meters of fabric. I got 10,500 meter fabric. Now this 1,000 meters of fabric is in excess. I'm just giving an example. Do not quote me for this. This is an example, which I'm using. So basically I have bought extra material. Now I have shipped the garment. I have, done 100 and 102% of cutting as well, shipped 101% to the customer as well. But again, at the end, I have a huge amount of fabric which is left over on my cutting room. And if I do not get the similar style for that similar fabric, will go into my dead stock. Now dead stock, every year I have to discard some of the material. So again, this will not give me any return. So this is basically a problem for me. If every year I am discarding 1% of my material purchases, that means that's a big number. That's if you are buying $100 million of worth of fabric, then 1% is just 1 million out over there. So the number is, the ticket size is very big. Now on the other side, if you order a less number of fabric, less meterage of the fabric, at the end you're not able to cut the order quantity as well. You are only cutting 95 or 96% of the order quantity and shipping those to the customer. That's an FOB loss to me. And at the same time, the customer will also penalize me for that. Why you are not able to ship always my order quantities? I have given you some extra allowance as well, but again, you are not able to get, you're just getting 96% or 97%. So they will definitely have an FOB loss to my business, and plus they can also penalize me for that. So both these situations are definitely, not, what we want in the business to happen. We want that we should be able to, buy the right amount of fabric and also cut the right amount of fabric. So with that, with the proper definition, I hand it over to my colleague Silky, which will go into the buying process. She will deep dive and do a multiple explanation for what is happening right now and where we should go in the future, because fabric is definitely the dollar that we want to save. Over to you, Silky.
Thank you, Neeraj, for the wonderful introduction of the importance of fabric utilization and optimization in our industry. And that's exactly what we solve with our solution, FastReactFabric, which uniquely connects your buying and cutting operations into a single platform. It gives you the visibility of both the aspects of cutting and buying, which otherwise are currently working in silos. Even if we do have a lot of data being generated on a day-to-day basis in the cutting room, it's very hard for our factories to get visibility of that data and use that valuable information when we are trying to buy again for similar styles and orders. So this is what we are trying to tackle with our solution FastReactFabric, and thereby trying to reduce the overall fabric cost by up to 2.5%. With the recent implementations we have done in the past, we have reduced the overall buying and planning time by up to 90% in certain cases. And with this entire visibility, we ensure you get your 100% fabric tracking as well. So yes, we can confidently say that right now, FastReactFabric is the only solution that combines your fabric buying and cutting operations so that you can get factual buying and eliminate redundant stock. We predict the fabric forecast to meet your demands for increasing complexities, because right now it's the time for fast fashion, lower lead times. So you need accuracy, precise forecasting, and a complete streamline within your buying and cutting so that you can deliver your orders in the right time. Okay, so first we will understand what are the current challenges and issues that the factories face when they need to do a booking for any order. And when we say any order, they are not just doing one order in a day. They have to proceed with multiple orders, multiple styles coming in on a day-to-day basis. Remember, the lead times are short and they have to go as accurate as possible because we are going to spend money on whatever consumption we decide. And on the basis of that, we are going to purchase the fabric. So what are the steps involved? The first one over there is, of course, creating a cut plan, because whatever size quantity we have received from the buyer, eventually we'll be cutting. So there is enough awareness right now in the industry that they understand that consumption that they're going to use to book the fabric cannot come out of just one size or a single ratio. So they do understand that there is a need to prepare an entire cut plan that sort of mimics what will eventually happen in the cutting flow. But despite of that awareness, there are lead times that are short, and there are multiple orders that a team of people sitting in the technical room have to create and deliver within a short span of time. Also, there are other constraints that sometimes they need to book the fabric without having the complete knowledge of what the size-wise breakdown will be. And because probably the buyer says that they will get the exact quantity sometime before they actually need to cut the order. They are still doing some R&D. So these are certain constraints that doesn't allow them to have a cut plan that can actually be the most accurate solution for their order at a point in time. So what happens in that case, sometimes they tend to create a partial cut plan. They may not go for a 100% cut plan because sometimes they don't have order quantity. So they will have a representative marker that they think is the most suitable solution at that point in time. And sometimes it's probably the best that they can do. But that's the current constraint that doesn't allow them to go towards that accuracy. The next step for them, once they've created the marker, created the ratio, is to create the markers. Now, even if they go that length and create a 100% cut plan, they think now they need to create so many markers for booking. And when we say they need to create so many markers, it could be and number of markers. And for that, within their CAD systems, they need to manually give each and every instruction that what will be the width of the marker, what shrinkages, and every single details. And when they are short in time, they would not want to do this for so many markers. So there is that intention that let's try to expedite this process and create lesser markers so that we can expedite this process. And just like size-wise quantity, sometimes even the fabric parameters are not properly known at that point in time when they're really doing the booking. So a lot of processes happen on basis of assumptions and presumed parameters in that case. And then once this step is done, and let's say they have made the markers and they have some consumption, then the last step is always to add some buffer. So this buffer will take care of the actual wastages that will happen on the floor. Which is, there may be damages in the fabric, there is actual process loss during the cutting and other things. Now, again, for this buffer, mostly the practice that we've seen in the industry is that generally they maintain either a matrix or a very standard wastage that they think that will be suitable for a particular kind of order in fabric, and they just apply that. Of course, industry is now getting more advanced. They understand that it's a blank way and we need to keep improving as we go along. So they do even go back and try to look into their data and maybe even revise it from time to time. But it can never really be as accurate, because if we are just taking a standard value and putting it every time, what will happen on the cutting may be something absolutely different. So they may have maintained the data of what really happened in a similar style before, but at the time of booking, they can barely look into just 1 or 2 orders at max. They cannot look into multiple of orders that they have executed and try to get a summation and an aggregate value of what really should have been the wastage, and use that next time when they're purchasing. So although they have data, if it is not supported by tech, it's very difficult for them to really make use of it. And so we can see overall there are 2 major issues that they face. One is, of course, the lack of time, and then there's a lack of data. When we say lack of data, they may have the data, but then it's very difficult for them to go back and refer to it when they really need it at the time of booking. And that's like, as we know, the lead times are getting shorter, so they don't really have time to go back and look into various Excels, look into various reports that they might have maintained, even if they do. So some major pressing issues that do happen when we are trying to purchase fabric. So let's go on and try and understand how we help and we support the factories in these situations. Since we mentioned in the beginning, for us, I think it was very important when we understood that in silos, buying can never be able to give a accurate prediction of what should be the amount of fabric that you should utilize. So we have a very advanced module of cutting, which Yuganshu will take you in a while. And we ensure that we use all that important and critical data, and we send it to buy on a regular basis, so that when we are trying to do the buying, then we do have the visibility of everything that happened in the past. Because as we said, we are going to track everything that's going to happen in an order, all the wastages, what was the size-wise breakdown during the cutting. And we take that information and we try to help our buying teams when they want to do the booking. So they don't have to go back and look into Excels. It's there in a button click and it's there in front of them. It's their own data, and it's the most reliable data they can use, rather than any big data or any standard data that they would have maintained otherwise. So that's one of the key features that we do say, which allow our clients to really make the best use of the data in their hand. And of course, we do integrate with CAD, because we understand that when we say that the clients should go and make 100% cut plans at the buying stage, it is important for them to give them speed. So instead of them having to manually make each and every marker, when we say make each and every marker, they need to give instructions to the marker that what will be the width, etc., as I mentioned before. So we integrate and we try to give all this information to the CAD in one go, because we make the ratios. So we tell them what will be the parameters. So the person who need to make the markers don't have to do it manually, and they just need to queue it in their CAD systems. What CADs are supposed to do, they're supposed to queue markers. They'll just do the queuing part, and we'll get the marker results, and we can easily upload it back into our systems as well. Then we do maintain versions. So of course, we all know that it's never a one-time process. Sometimes buyer will give you an order and they'll ask you to do a provisional estimation, and they might say that we may give you the final information later on. So you can always run it multiple times within our system, and you can use the final one to call it the actual estimation and push it even to the cutting module, so that they have the visibility of what was the booking consumption and other details. Then we, of course, offer intuitive reports, multiple reports, which are, some are Excel-based, some are PDFs. Excel-based are wonderful reports which can allow you as a factory to do multiple sorting, filtering of data. You can use pivot tables and enjoy the use of BI to make any conclusions and understand any trends that have been happening. So we can generate these reports for months or years, depending on what you want, and you can see those trends. But of course, we do understand there are important KPIs that everybody needs. So we have those pre-built reports as well, and they can help you visualize again for various metrics such as customers and products and the quantities, wastages, what are the trends, what's happening, who are my biggest buyers, where am I losing more fabric, where is my wastage better, so that you can also evaluate and you can ensure that what are the areas to look into and improve, and which are my good high performing products, so that you know that this is what you generally excel into and take more orders on. And so to end with, of course, it's all about speed, it's all about accuracy, it's all about giving you your own data to empower and ensure that with your current team size, you're able to perform even better, do more estimations, better estimations, and gain some profitability. And with this, I will again quickly recap without taking much time as to all those processes where we mentioned about that, these are the challenging areas, how we then eventually help. So cut plan, of course, manually, it's time consuming. It may not hit the mark, and sometimes we don't have all the information. But with our solution, you'll get that cut plan within a buttons click. And even if we don't have the size-wise breakdown at that time, remember, we are integrated with the cutting module, and it has the ability to go back and look into similar styles, customers, and products in the past, and understand that even if we don't have size-wise breakdown right now, when the orders were cut in the past, what was the breakdown? So it will aggregate that and give you a breakdown of sizes on the go, and you will have the most nearest to accurate picture of what you should take as your quantity breakdown at the time of analysis, and proceed with that. Because apart from what you have received in the past, anything else that you use is just a blank understanding of what you think it should be. But data-based size-wise breakdown, making a cut plan on the basis of that is still more accurate. Then, as I mentioned in the slide before, we ensure that even if you have to make 100% markers, we integrate with the CAD solution so that we reduce your effort of putting each and every instruction into the marker making software. We help you with there, as well as ensure that whatever extra parameters that you think you might not have at that time, we help you with the historical data aspect of it. So overall, buying and cutting integration as a whole is going to help you visualize your actual wastages on the floor. That means in terms of cutting, it will ensure you are reducing less fabric. We are tracking that information, saving it in cut. And when you are buying, you are able to use that wastage value to ensure you're adding the right buffers at the time of buying. So overall intention is that with the help of historical data, right amount of data flowing in from cut to buy on a frequent basis, we empower our users with their own data, ensure there is 100% automation and accurate buying and more profitability for you and your factories. So with this, I will now hand it over to Yuganshu, who will take you through the cutting module of our solution. Over to you, Yuganshu.
Thank you, Silky, for explaining the buying aspect of the fabric management. So hello again, everyone. I'm excited to share insights on how smart fabric management in cutting room can reduce wastage and elevate profitability. Okay. So here we have the material utilization process, a critical workflow that determines fabric usage efficiency and profitability. So unfortunately, as it stands, much of this process remains manual, creating bottlenecks at each step. So let's start with the cut plan. So this is the first step where we decide how we are going to plan out our markers based on the garment sizes and quantities. So currently this process is often managed to Excel sheets or even on papers, requiring human oversight, and many times it is made in a conservative way to handle the anomalies or any misplanning at the production floor. So manual cutting planning can lead to suboptimal efficiency, and any error here has a compounding impact on the planning downstream. So next is the fabric variation handling. As we know, fabric is not a consistent material. Width, weights, and stretches vary from one batch to another, which makes optimization very difficult. So right now, these variations are also managed manually, and this reliance on manual adjustment increase the risk of error and mismanagement, leading to either overuse or underuse of fabric, both of which are costly. So next is the marker making. Um, so this is where we start seeing some automation with the use of CAD tools. CAD improves precision and efficiency, but it's worth noting that CAD's effectiveness is limited by the input it receives. Without intelligent planning and from the previous steps, CAD can only do so much. If cut planning or fabric handling are inconsistent, CAD optimizations will be suboptimal, and that may result in wasted fabric. So next is the cutting edge execution. So where fabric is actually cut based on the marker layouts, although machinery is involved, this stage also requires a fair amount of manual input to monitor and adjust. Excel sheets are commonly used to track these processes, and without real-time data synchronization, uh, delays and inaccuracies in cutting room can occur. In case of any deviation here, not only it wastes the fabric, but also affect the production timelines and the labor cost. So after all this process, there comes the data capture. So after capturing data on fabric usage, wastage generated, and efficiency, uh, tracking is very essential. However, this is typically done manually with records kept in spreadsheets. This manual data capture lacks accuracy and real-time visibility, which limits our ability to react quickly to inefficiencies or excess in fabric use. And due to that, in KPIs and reporting, we measure key metrics like fabric utilization rate, wastage percentages, and other performance indicators. But with manual reporting, there often a significant lag before management receives actionable insights. Furthermore, inaccuracies in the earlier stages can cascade into reporting, leading to flawed strategic decisions. So in overall sense, about 90% of this entire material utilization process is manual. So not only this is time intensive, but also labor heavy as well. Let's take a look at the specific features that make it possible for you to cut with confidence. Each of these features is designed to streamline fabric utilization, reduce waste, and make your cutting process as efficient and accurate as possible. So first and foremost is the integration with ERP. So FastReactFabric seamlessly integrates with your existing ERP systems. So by connecting to your ERP, we reduce the need for manual data entry, which not only saves time, but also reduce the risk of data entry errors. The integration allows information to flow effortlessly, providing a single source of truth across your entire operation. Then our major feature, that is role allocation. So efficient role allocation is a cornerstone of effective fabric management. Our system allocates fabric roles by optimizing the usage of both width and length, ensuring maximum utilization. By doing this, we minimize the remnant generation or end-bit generation, which are often a significant source of waste in the production flow. And then we go one step further with our role allocation. So by including the splicing aspect of the planning. So this splicing intelligence into role allocation, we can achieve optimal fabric utilization by utilizing the remnants even more in our lays. So this ensures that fabric usage is maximized, allowing for complex layouts without sacrificing the efficiency. Furthermore, we have an additional feature, that is role allocation with extra fabric and binding. So as we know, production can be halted if fabric rolls run out of length or run out of availability unexpectedly. To address this, our system supports roll allocation with extra fabric and binding management. So this feature considers the need of extra fabric, reducing potential production stoppages and enhancing overall productivity. By managing extra fabric intelligently, we support a smoother and more reliable cutting room. Lastly, we understand that remnants are often overlooked, leading to unnecessary waste. With remnant planning, we turn what would have been discarded into usable material. So this feature maximizes the use of fabric remnants, ensuring that every piece of fabric is put to work, reducing waste and enhancing resource utilization. So these features empower you to approach each cutting operation with confidence, knowing that every aspect of the fabric allocation, usage, and waste management has been optimized. Now that we have discussed the current challenges and the capabilities of our product, let's look at this process again as a future state. So at the top, you can notice that our approach combines best process focus with technology prowess. So this combination is critical because it ensures that we are not just automating the process, but also enhancing it to meet the industry's best practices. So let's see how FRF cut module helps in these processes. So first of all is the, as we discussed earlier as well, cut plan and fabric variation handling. So with the FRF cut module, we automate both the cut planning and fabric variation. So system will intelligently adapt to differences in fabric widths and characteristics, optimizing the fabric usage. So it will eliminate the manual steps that may incur, and it will significantly reduce fabric waste and improve overall accuracy at the first stage of your planning. Then in making, so as we know, the CAD system is crucial to create an efficient marker. But as we discussed earlier, the initial inputs is very important for that CAD marker to be efficient. So our product integrates with the CAD system and work in sync with optimized data, and it ensures that marker layouts are based on precise and accurate inputs, and that will further improving the fabric utilization. So after marker, the cutting execution and the data capture. So in this state, we are enhancing visibility through real-time data capturing during the cutting process. So cut module captures critical data on fabric usage for each lay and every roll as the cutting takes place. So it is a real-time data capturing. So this empowers the team to monitor cutting execution closely and quickly identify any deviation from the plan and make adjustments if needed. So with the real-time data, the FRF cut module powers enhanced KPI and reporting capabilities. Instead of waiting for data to be manually compiled, stakeholders can get instant reporting from the system with comprehensive metrics on fabric utilization, efficiency, and wastage summaries. So this transparency empowers your team to make data-driven adjustments on the go, continuously improving the process and maintaining the high performance. So this covers the cut module. Back to you, Neeraj. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuganshu. Thank you very much for sharing us the details of the cut. Let me just share my screen and move towards the end of this session. So I hope you have seen what capabilities our solution has. So we can definitely, have the buying and the cutting module working in your factory, and which will definitely automate your entire processes and also help you to basically bridge the gap between your buying and the cutting, which at the moment happening, in silos. So buying is happening at a different stage, at different time zone, and then when you go to the cutting, it is entirely into the different. The scope changes, the entire work in progress changes. The material also comes in a varied form. But when these two solutions are working in the cutting room and the buying, so we are trying to bridge, as I said, it's a bridge, the gap that we have bridged upon. And also we are ensuring that you buy, cut, and your cut also at the right time or the right amount. So they both will ensure you that you get, you're optimizing your fabric, and that optimization will eventually the optimization of your processes and optimization of your fabric, and you will see a lot of controls placed over your fabric. So we will track your every inch of fabric, as we have been saying that. So that is what you will get out of the FRF cut, and these are some of our the basically some of our customers who has given us their used the solution, and they have given the feedback, and we have seen very good results happening on the FRF, on the production floors and on the buying, and we would be definitely happy to connect with you and also give you more insight about that. So moving further is the question and answer session. So we would like to answer the question. I could see a lot of questions being popped up onto the Q&A chat, and we would go one by one to all the questions, and we may not be able to answer all of them. For that, we will be sharing our contact us slide after the Q&A session, where you can definitely send us your question and answer, and we can connect to you and explore how we can help you further in optimizing your fabric journey. All right, over to the questions. Right. So basically, I'm going to read the first question over here. So I think Silky and Yuganshu, we can now turn on our camera. And also I have, shared my feedback slide also. So we would be definitely needing your help as well on, letting us know the feedback on this particular webinar. And in the future also, we are going to conduct more of the, certain similar type of webinars, and we would like to cover all those, all those points over here. So, all right. So first question, which I can see over here is, what is the process of role allocation? So, Yuganshu, would you like to explain a little bit, what is the that particular feature that we have?
Yeah, Neeraj, definitely. So the role allocation process is quite a simple process in our application. So when you have your lays planned, you have your markers with your length and width, and you have the sufficient planned plies for that how much ply you are going to lay from that marker. And also you have your fabric available in the production floor, or you are just waiting for them from the warehouse to get the fabric. So there's just a single click process. You will select your lays and click on run role allocation. The system will check in the fabric pool which roles are most efficient for the selected lay or multiple lays, and which combination of multiple roles can produce the minimum number of end bits. So system will pick those roles, and you can get those selected rows from your warehouse, or if you have all the pool on your production floor ready, you can just select those particular rows from your pool, and you can start the spreading according to the plan. So this information, the lay and the allocated roles into that lay is also be shared with the layerman through our mobile application. So the layerman will spread that lay and select the role that is currently spreading and enter the wastage or the end bits information or actual plies information into that software module, and just click on save. So in this process, we are also getting the real-time data from the user, and also we are the user is also planning our allocated role plan.
Right, thank you, Yuganshu. So over to the next question. So I think, Silky, this is for you. How can FRF help if we do not have the size-wise breakdown during fabric booking, which is, I think, a very prominent case that we see that, buyers sometimes just, gives you, it's a 10,000 piece order, but I do not have the size-wise, the ratios right now. So how do we help in that?
Right. A very common concern with the teams who have to handle this particular issue. So what essentially FastReactFabric does is that it understands that, okay, for which particular buyer and which particular product you need to buy. So let's take an example. So let's say you have received an order for a Gap t-shirt of a regular fit, and you haven't received the size-wise breakdown yet. But since the best practice is to make a cut plan and then evaluate the consumption, now how will you go about it if you don't have that? So what FastReactFabric does is that it has the ability to go back and look into your past orders that has been executed in the cutting before, and will look that have I executed a similar style of this Gap t-shirt before. So the first preference will always be given to a common style, because that will try to give the trend of if the style was received in the past and what was the size-wise breakdown. So if it finds that, that's the best solution, and it will aggregate and give you the size-wise breakdown for your 10,000 pieces. But let's say it's a new style. This is also another issue, because if I don't find the style, then it will go back to the second most closest reference, which is, okay, I don't have the style, but for a Gap and a t-shirt of a regular fit of so and so fabric, what has been the breakdown before? So it will go and pick up the next best solution in that case. So rather than depending on a standard ratio that you think that you should go ahead and proceed with, that's how the system will go back and search. And the same situation scenario also happens not only for the size-wise breakdown, but that's exactly how we also help you get the wastages from the cutting room as well. So just by going back and looking into the past orders and helping you with your own factory data.
Thank you, Silky, for providing the answer. So, okay, next question is, I think, Yuganshu, this is for you. What is the solution of NBIT? So I believe that the attendees are asking, like, what could we do, to solve the NBIT challenge that we have? And I think this is something which you also answered during your presentation, that how an NBIT can be solved. But would you like to add some points to it?
Yeah, sure, Neeraj. So the solution for NBIT is basically at the role allocation level, first of all. So if you are allocating the correct roles, you are certainly minimizing your number of NBITs or the lengths of NBITs, right? And after that, after the allocation, if you see some production changes or any on-floor adjustments you want to make, and you are not doing as per the plan, so maybe you are just increasing your NBITs due to some damages or shortage or excess in the roles, right? So the next process comes is the remnant planning that we also offer. So with remnant planning, the system will considers all the available NBITs and create a plan for that. So it includes a cut plan. It will generate a cut plan for according to the NBITs only, and after that cut plan, it will also allocate those NBITs to the particular marker that it has created. And then you can just send that marker to your CAD system, get the marker length, and you can just utilize those NBITs in a new way.
Basically, this NBIT solution that we provide, it's like, one of our unique selling point as well, because we do the NBIT planning on the real-time data. Because, you can make us one-piece marker thinking, I will get a one-piece marker or a two-piece marker, and I will try to eliminate all the NBITs over there. But that's not the case. You could have a NBIT which could be put in a three-piece, marker over there. So then how do you, ensure that your planning is, you are making sure that you utilize all these NBITs? So the plan which we will create will be based out of all these, the NBITs that are coming. It's a one-piece NBIT or a two-piece NBIT or a three-piece NBIT. And then how do I ensure that, three-piece should go on a three-piece marker only, and a two-piece will go on a two-piece marker. And then if somebody is again, there's a leftover after putting, then how do we consume that? So tracking every inch and then helping you to optimize those planning. That's how the solution of the NBIT we do. All right, I think we can go to the next session. Next question. So how much of data is captured automatically? So I think, let me just answer this question. So if you look at, in the cut side, when we're in the cutting room, so we will digitize that particular part, because you will have a tablet running on your, tables that will, show you all the data. So basically right now, what is happening, if you look at a new factory, so people are writing on a lay slips, and then they are, these lay slips are distributed. So you write the marker numbers, marker length, the width of it, the group of it, and then what item code or the fabric code is there. You write each and everything and give it. So those all can be eliminated. You don't need to write out these. Plus also what the system is doing, because we are doing role allocation, that means the role is also fixed in those particular lays. So I have those 10 roles which are available, I need to lay. And on the 10 roles, each roll, how much ply, I can plan it over there. So I can say that, it's a 10-meter lay, it's 102 meter of the fabric roll length, and then I can put 10 plies, and 2 meter would be an NBIT. So that is an estimation that system is doing. Now, what I have to do is, as a layperson, I need to confirm that whether this NBIT which has come after it, after putting the 10 plies, is 2 or not. If it's not 2, if it's 1.5, I need to update at 1.5 because that is what I have got on the shop floor. So then and there, when you are entering in what on 1.5, we calculate the shortage excesses also. So that is where the layer person will also see, okay, this is my shortage which I'm getting on the roll. Otherwise, as a layer person, if I'm a manual, I will put all the layers, rolls, and then I will start calculating. So there's a lot of time spent over there in just calculation. So by a system, we can reduce that time and ensure that your people are writing less. That's how we are, placing, the digitizing and, capturing the data. Also, we do the integrations with the ERPs and so your data flows. So there's a less amount of manual efforts that we do. All right, so moving on to the next one. So can I use single module of FRF in my factory? Yes, you can do that. You can choose you want to go for a cut or you want to go for a buy. Definitely, we can do that. But yes, you can first use the cut module, or you want to use the buy, use the buy module. You can do that, and it will be always one by one. And you feel that after cut, I can see a lot of dead stocks or the leftovers which are available. Now it's right time to put the buy over it and start utilizing and maybe reducing the purchases as well. So you can do that. So that's the question. Okay. So the other question is how it works with the knit fabric, normally purchases with kg. Yuganshu, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, Neeraj. So for knit fabric, we have, as you said, that we purchase in kgs, but we can calculate the length of that fabric by considering the GSM and other factors. So for spreading, we need the length, right? We can't spread with kgs. So we need to convert that into meters or yardage, and then the system will do as it is.
Right.
Anything
And also,
you want to add?
yeah, sure. So basically, see, I buy in kgs, but at the end, if I'm, laying on the table, it's always meter or yard, because you will make a marker. Then marker will not say the kgs, marker will say a length, it's a 5 meter. In the 5 meter, I'm putting those, panels. Although we are buying in kgs because of the GSM factor, because if the GSM varies and my width varies, then, the entire game changes over there. So again, yes, it is considered in kgs, but at the end you are laying on meter. So you have both conversions. So we can convert. We can use the width and the, the GSM of the fabric and then, the kgs, and then we can estimate a length. At the end, it's an estimation. And then, you can track actually on from the shop floor. The estimation was, let's say 50 meter out of that 35 kg of the roll. But when it comes to a shop floor, we come to know it's not 50, it's less. So you can correlate that. Okay, so going into the next question, I get about 500 views from my buyer to evaluate in one go. Can FRF help me? Silky, would you like to answer that?
Okay, so the question is they want to evaluate 500 POs in a go. So yes, a very common situation again where the buyers will give you not only 500 but sometimes even thousands and more orders, and they need to quickly estimate and give them a consumption. So yes, FastReactFabric, the buy module is very well capable of taking in all the orders at once and giving you the cut plan. Then all you need to do is just queue it to the CAD systems, get the marker lengths in, and in a single shot, the system will analyze and give you the reports and consumptions for all of these. So we've had customers in the past who have used this feature, and we have saved hours and hours of time for them as well. So something that if your factory gets in this manner, then we'll be happy to connect with you and help you take through the journey of how we can support you with that.
Right, thank you, Silky. So there's a question: is there a reference site we could connect? So I'm sure I'm just putting, going to the next slide, and there is, you can connect to us on our LinkedIn page, and plus, you have the email IDs as well. So you can definitely, go there and, post your queries. We'll be, helping you to connect over there. Right. So moving to the next question is what is the contribution of a CAD application? All right, that's a good question. Let me answer that. So CAD is basically, these days there are few modules in the CAD. One is you prepare the patterns. That is one part of it. The other is that you're doing auto nesting or a manual nesting, whatever you're doing. So the CAD is already giving you a length of the markers that you're putting. So you're putting ratios like S1, M1, L2, XL2, and triple XL, all those. And then you are making those markers in the CAD. So, but the CAD is just limited till there. It does not do anything on your shop floor because what they have done is they have you have put in the parameters, you have done the nesting, you have done all the CAD parameters of the buffers and the, how the pattern will be placed, everything is done. But at the end, they're just giving me a length that this marker would be a 6 meter or a 7 meter or a 10 meter or a yards or inches. But after that, you have to lay it manually. So our part comes in because we definitely, we are not a CAD application. That's, I would definitely want to add on that, but we connect with the CAD. So we are a process management software. So we manage the entire process and help you, take right decisions and, and ensure that you are getting the right, information and also with the less number of steps. So digitization is one of the key. So that's the CAD contribution. Okay, let me just go. We still have some more time. How about the N-bits which are generated out of the cutting lay and those are getting utilized? So basically, let me answer that, you can show as well. So if the utilization of those N-bits are, so again, there are two things. You could keep some of the N-bits, to do the part replacements. Again, because, that's a necessity because you will get a damaged fabric and you need to replace those things. So again, if you utilize that into the part replacements as well, that will also be captured. And again, if those are not, consumed in the part replacement and you still have the N-bits, you make a marker plan for those N-bits and, eliminate. The marker plan which you will create, it will not be in a manual. It will be through the system again, as we said. So again, a digitization on a step 2 as well. Right. So I have the next question. Let me just go to that. In the garment industry, style change with each order. That means the client has to contact you every time. Not really that you have to contact. What we'll do is we will set up this entire process in your factory. We will train you on the software. We will train you on handling the various situation scenarios because each style change, the process can change or your patterns change, everything gets changed. So we actually do not, it will not be like for every time you have to come to us. So you will be equipped to handle all the variations and all the different type of styles you're getting. So if there's something, you want to our help on, so we'll be always there to help you. So that will be, there. So that is the question. How does remnant planning integrate with role allocation? Can the system prioritize using remnant over a new role is suitable for a lay? So, Yuganshu, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, as I said earlier, that we are reducing the remnants through role allocation, and after any on-floor feedback, if you are getting some remnants due to any misentries or shortages or excesses, so there will be two things you can do. So first of all, I explained that the remnant planning, through remnant planning, you can plan your new markers according to the remnants. And also, if you already have some markers planned and you just want to allocate remnants only, so there is a option for that as well. So you are not planning your markers again. You are not planning your lays again. You are just prioritizing the remnants over the rows. So system will do that accordingly, and it will allocate the available remnants first, and then the remaining quantity with the available roles. So these type of options and flexibilities are also available in the system.
Right. Let me go to the next question. How can we use this software in footwear? We can definitely use that in footwear. If you have the rolls coming in and you have fabric, in the roll form and you're cutting those panels, small shapes from there, we can definitely apply. So this will be a good to, explore also. And so you can definitely please, drop an email to us and we will definitely help you to understand how this can be applied onto the footwear industry. Right. Okay. So there's one more on the how is the pricing done? How much is the license cost and implementation? For sure, we can answer those questions. And, if you can please drop us an email also on this, and we will be happy to connect and, tell you that how the pricing is done and how the implementation of the license costs are there. So thank you for that question. Right. So moving to the next, if we keep role allocated and assigned for particular lay plan, how to manage flexibility when we need fabric for some exception handling out of the assigned roles? So, Yuganj, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah. So, so as you say, your roles are already allocated, and you want to use some different role due to unavailability or any other scenario. So yes, if you have roles available in your fabric pool, and that some roles are not allocated in it, and you want to use any unallocated role, so system will give you an option to just select that role from a simple UI. You can select that role and enter actual details and just use that role and save that. So system is flexible enough to handle all of the on-floor scenarios.
Yeah, so on-floor scenarios are something which, any system should be able to capable, to handle those. Right?
Yeah.
If anything, any parameter is changing, for example, the width is getting less, or, I'm getting a higher width on some roles, how do I handle? If I get a damage on the, running role that I'm doing, how do I handle that? So when we do the implementation, we actually look at all those scenarios that are coming and then train your team to handle those scenarios. And there's SOPs that are created on the cutting room. If you get any scenario, how to handle that. So that's how we keep ensure that those all kind of variations that you're getting are captured. Right, moving on to the next. If the role widths are different, of for example 5 roles are having excess width of +3 and rest of the 95 roles are in correct width, how to resolve this issue? So basically the width is like something you have got from a supplier. Now it's dynamic. Supplier says 55, it can always be, a little bit plus and minus. So again, if a 3-inch, the excess width has come into the 3 roles, ideally we should be creating a different group for that. And then we should handle it, because there is an extra fabric of 3-inch. And for example, each roll is like 150. So that's like a 450 meters of fabric, which 3 inches extra. If you look at, if you convert into the consumption of that, it will be definitely give us a better yield on that. So 95 rolls should be planned, in the different. And if you have 3, the rolls, which are, some 5 rolls in with the 3 inches more width, that should be handled separately. And that can be handled in the software as well. So we do have, identify those control parameters again, as I said, and then help you to segregate the width as well, and then plan it on the shop floor. So you'll not be able to merge it. So that's what you can do as well. So that's one question. Okay, so moving to the next one, lay plan, how to make within the short time. Can you give some example for that? So for, to give you the example, you will have to, reach out to us and just drop in us email. We will connect and explain you how the lay plans and everything can be done. Yes, it can be done in a very short time. So with a single click, you can create the cut plans and the lay plans in the system. That's how the capabilities are. When I say single click, it would be some seconds as well. It could be 30 to 45 seconds or 1 minute. You can, generate those lay plans and cut plans. Okay, I think we have just 2-3 minutes, so we can take, I think, 1 or 2 more questions. In case past orders are not there, then how the size-wise roles allocation will be there? Okay, size-wise and the role allocation. So Silky, would you answer for these size-wise if we do not have the past orders?
So as I mentioned last time as well, it may happen that you may not have past orders for similar styles. So in that situation, it will go back and look into the next best result, which could be a combination of that particular customer and a similar product or a fabric. So that's how the priority is, which is from most closest combination. Then obviously reducing that refined search and trying to give you the best possible from your data. That's how we'll proceed in this situation.
Thank you. Okay, I think we can take just one last question. There are a couple of more and difficult to choose out of it. Okay, if fabric is rejected and agreed to proceed with the cut panel inspection, how does the program work? So let me just answer that. Okay, it can always be possible that the in terms of the quality, the fabric has been rejected and it's not good to go ahead, but you have to go because you have to fulfill some deliveries and so now what will happen once you lay those fabric and cut the panels, you will do panel inspections. And now panel inspection, there will be high number of panels will get rejected, or you have to replace those panels. So we capture the meterage that has gone into your panel replacements. So that is the crucial. So we have a tablet, as I said, the delay person, same panel inspection team will also have a tablet where they will be replacing the panels and recording the system. So at the end, you will come to know that maybe a 10 meter or a 50 meter or 100 meters of fabric has gone into my panel inspection, and what percentage is that of my overall fabric that I've got. So yes, it has the capabilities. And with that, I can see huge amount of questions again, and we would definitely like to answer, but we are very short on the time now, and we would like to call to end to this particular webinar, and hope we can have further more webinars on our fabric utilization. And I have shared the contact, a slide. Please do reach out to us and also fill the feedback form, which I've just shared. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this session.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Looking
everyone.
forward to connect. Thank you.
Thank you.